What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back. I am your host, Peaches. This is Peach Talk. So, if you are new here, welcome in. We have a great, well, I'll say panel today for you guys. With me today, I have you know him from another show, Mr. AV from
Hey,
Custom.
hey,
Oh, how custom?
hey, how you doing? Pleasure to be here.
I'm doing good. Glad you could be here. Then I got Mr. Veezy from TikTok. If you don't already know, y'all need to go to TikTok and follow this guy because he is dope. How you doing, VZ?
Appreciate it. I'm good. How you?
I got that right, VZ.
You got it right.
Next, I have the wonderful, voluptuous, sweet Miss Alex. How you doing, cousin? You doing all right?
I'm okay, sure.
Okay, okay. And then I have my beautiful aunt. How you doing, aunt?
Self, how you guys doing?
We're doing all right. We're doing all right. And then I have Mr. CT from CT Design Apparel. What's going on, CT? How you doing?
I was laugh, but we good. How y'all doing?
They say you say the best for last, so don't say
Hey, I was just about to say that, but I ain't want to. We good. Hello, everyone. Let's get started.
Well, we got a little technical difficulty, so we're gonna have to work around that today. But you know, I wanted to start off by, of course, thanking you guys for being on the show. I know you guys have a busy schedule, so do I. So it's awesome that you guys were able to be here today. And of course, we're gonna talk about a lot of things on this show today. We're gonna talk about marriage. We're gonna talk about relationships and dating. And a lot of times people, we have a misconstrued notion on what it's like being married, what it's like being in a relationship, and people all automatically also assume just because you're single or dating that you're somehow miserable, and that's not even the case. But so we're gonna start off with our first question of today, and it could be for the married people too. We gotta make sure that we are all on the same sheet of music when it comes to these questions. But when it comes to dating, do you think it's a good idea for someone to date someone that they are normally not, like, I guess, attracted to, someone they normally wouldn't date?
No, it's a horrible idea.
You said it's horrible.
Horrible, horrible. If you didn't like it before, you're not gonna like him after.
Really?
I agree. Why are you stepping outside the box like that?
Yeah, like if you don't like chocolate and you try to like chocolate, you're not gonna like chocolate, no matter how much you try.
Well, I mean, that might be easier for the men, but I know sometimes with us women we kind of like negotiate. So what you say, Alex?
you already know my take on it. I stepped outside of the box, and
They
I,
ain't together no more.
I
Step
think
right back in.
I had what was the love of my life was the opposite of anything that I would normally go for. So I'm gonna say yeah.
Mm.
Auntie, what about you?
What one of the things my husband told me was when we were dating, he said he dated different colors, shapes, sizes, because you never know where you're gonna find love. And sometimes women are more lenient than men because y'all looking at the outside. We're looking at what they can not as much as what they can do is basically, feelings. I like a person that's, they don't have to go all out for me.
Opposite of anything.
It's the little things that I like in a man. Is especially when you're. I'm nervous, y'all.
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't get
shake,
nervous.
shake
You
it off,
good,
Pecan.
Auntie.
So
Shake it
You
I'm
off.
good, Auntie.
up with in that. So it's for me, it's a thing. I have to feel safe in your energy. So you can actually look like Magilla Gorilla, but if
Mm.
something about you that brings me from here to here, then I'm probably
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
Ooh, she lying. Boy.
They're good. Now
Don't
they
be
gotta
doing that
be
for the
cute. They
Ooh,
podcast.
gotta
she
be
Don't,
cute.
lying.
don't be doing that.
I
God, she
Not
knows she ain't
McGilla
finna date
Gorilla.
McGilla Gorilla. Come on, man.
y'all know
Come
what
on.
it's not.
Be
It's
truthful,
the thing
man. With an F. Be truthful.
I'm trying to be as truthful as possible. You know you're gonna have your limits to what you're gonna allow. Some people you ain't gonna even allow to get close enough to you to feel safe in their energy. But if you step outside of your norm and then it's somebody who, like I said, who you feel who can give you that where you can just exhale, then you know, why not give them a try?
You not finna be calling Dollar General with that dude. Stop lying.
See, that's the difference between men and women.
Okay.
We're not like that. Now, if you had a voluptuous woman, she's nice, dressed well, got a good
Talk.
job.
Talk it.
You may want to chill with her at night when it's, but you all may not want to be with that woman in the daytime. We'll take a chance. I've seen plenty women with men that didn't look so good.
But
And
you
I
using the
guarantee
wrong
you,
description. You said voluptuous. Now you can't say voluptuous and then
Can't
tell
say
her,
that.
yeah, just use another adjective, please. Not voluptuous, because if she voluptuous, she can come to Dollar General.
okay, well, what if she's not that cute? Because
Get okay
my
on a
husband.
scale from 0 to 10. What you call not that cute? You talking about a 6? Because if she a
Well, okay,
6, she can
when
come.
we put on makeup, it's for enhancement, but not
Mm-hmm.
if it change your whole facial feature.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Because you have some women that put on makeup, they be a whole different person without that makeup on.
Mm,
So
true.
I'm saying, if she's ugly, say you wouldn't want to be seen with
I need a number. I
her.
need
A
a 3. If
10,
she a 3, if she come,
No,
a
she a
if she
10.
a 10, she
I'm gonna
coming.
try it up since
She in there.
been
We
through
buy
enough.
chips,
CT has
drinks.
been through enough with people to get to that point where you just won't. You just need that somebody who, like I said, can bring you from being guarded into all the other stuff until you actually go through that. Which I don't. I think men a lot of times push stuff under the rug until unless a woman just burn them to their core. They push a lot of stuff under the rug, so they still kind of vain in their approach on women. So yeah.
I say pressure ain't got no face. That's what
Hmm.
I say.
Oh,
Oh,
So
okay.
now
man,
look,
that's a
now
T-shirt,
now
boy.
Facts.
hey, I'm
Oh
just
Nah.
boy.
saying, pressure ain't got no
And
face. It's not
Veezy
look,
came with
not
the
to be
lines. Okay.
well, I'm just saying, not to be confused with McGilla Gorilla. You know what I mean? I feel like we always look at things in the spectrum is very wide. It's a lot of people that fit in the middle. And I
Yeah.
always say look for people's redeeming qualities. You know what I'm saying? And I go in on this a lot because I feel like we're not getting to know each other the way we used to. I say back in the day, we just talking 15, 20 years ago. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So the absence of that, now we got everybody that's hyper driven by this social media thing where this algorithm is showing you everybody at their best all the time. So if everybody you see when you scroll is at their best, you're gonna have a distorted sense of reality. That's how I
Right.
see it. So now
Facts.
people end
Yeah.
up with these standards that are a little bit, you know what I mean? You're getting a little wild with it because now you want every one of your boxes checked off, and it ain't happening like that. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So I feel like we putting a little bit too much emphasis on looks. Not to say you shouldn't be attracted to your person, but I think the emphasis on it is a little bit too much. Because if we not dating either, if we not going out, stepping out with people, sitting across from somebody at a table, trying to get to know them, how we gonna get to figure out what's beneath all this stuff that's on the surface? Because that's gonna fade. 100%, it's gonna fade. You can still, of course, you can always find them attractive, but that's not what's leading the way anymore after the substance rises to the top. So that's how I see it.
Right. That's true. I mean, I feel you on that because one thing about it, I think that, like you said, social media has really gotten people out of, actually wanting to to know people. And we try to, it's funny because I think I've said this before on one of my shows where, I've gone through therapy and, my therapist had told me, he was like, list out your non-negotiables, the qualities that you're looking for, man. And, there you have your list. And when I gave him my list, he was like, oh, this is actually not that bad. He said most of the time his clients will sit here and tell, oh, he got to be 6 feet tall and he got to have rock hard abs, and that's not necessarily a personality trait that you should be. It's a physical trait, and it's very unimportant when you're talking about being in a relationship with somebody long term. So yeah, that's definitely so I definitely want to ask this for the married folks that's on uh this panel. What are some challenges you faced uh when you were dating versus now as a married person? What were some challenges when it came to dating your spouse, your significant other?
Well, for me, the only challenge I had when me and my husband first started dating was a lot of his exes came out the woodworks. And that's about the only thing. And he swore up and down that nobody was calling him until he got with me and all that. But I didn't see that
That's
because
factual. Whenever you get to that person, they come out of the woodworks. That's what they do. They come out of the woodworks.
look, even the children were coming.
They only want you when somebody else wants you.
Right.
True. What about you, Vizzy? What were some challenges you faced
I
versus,
mean,
versus back then?
yeah, I hate to be that guy and make it like we didn't face anything too crazy. We really didn't. I mean, I think early on, probably the way we communicated, it actually got better after we
Mm,
got married, right? Like, so we when we were dating, we were actually, it was like practicing how to be better with communicating with one another. I'm more of the, in my marriage, I'm more, outspoken than my wife, right? So I had to kind of pull her to my level and allow her to feel comfortable and safe and all that, to be vulnerable, you know what I mean? Because she struggled with that, past trauma, previous relationship, all that. And so I had to kind of recognize that and kind of help her work on it. And now it's flawless, you know what I mean? So
uh,
um, I always look at like the dating process. If you're dating with intention, I look at the dating process as like preparation. A lot of times people, they're kind of going through the motion and they focus on just getting married and the wedding or whatever, right? Like the clout that comes with getting married. And they're not really looking at it like these are the things that we're supposed to be improving upon once we actually say I do. You know what I mean? So any challenges that we had early on, we pretty much nipped all that in the bud as we were approaching, officially being married.
okay, we got
Yeah.
an actual question for Pecan up in the comments. It says, "How do you and your husband keep it exciting and date after years of being together?"
Well, I got different color wigs, pumps.
Sharonda, Khalifa.
And sometimes we go and meet up places.
Oh, they lit. Boy, they lit.
Okay, so all right.
What is
And
this?
Oh, I like that. Let me write
hey,
that
They
one
lit.
down. Let me put that in my
Where the
notes.
notepad at? I got notes over here. Hold on. I'm trying to learn from the married
hey,
woman. Come on now.
and I love that we got our own land because that car be rocking out there.
Hey, why? You better not be a deacon at church.
Oh my God.
Golly. Woo,
Ooh, baby.
man.
Hey,
Auntie, wow with it.
Boy, wait till YouTube get a hold of this. Ooh-wee.
Hey, I have to reward him when he helped
Say
me
that one
take
more
care of
time.
my
Say it again.
grandkids. So I have to reward him.
She said reward. I like that. Boy, God.
y'all good. Ooh, y'all good today, Lord.
Lord.
Busy. Okay, so
Yeah.
I gotta pose that question to you too. Now, how you and your wife keep? Because I know y'all just had a baby, so I know it's a bit of a struggle.
I mean, we PG-13 on here or what?
Hey,
Mm.
no, because he hears the
Not
thing.
after what she just said. No, sir. Come on with it.
It can be some cold words.
As recently as hell, 48 hours ago, me and mine took a happy pill together. And let me tell you something.
If the kids
Let me
That shit
watching,
work.
turn it off.
let me tell you something. All
Hey,
right, it
Matt,
was something special. Okay,
Whew.
I mean, now look, Auntie, how long you been married?
He 12 years, December the
Okay.
29th.
Now, to be fair, me and mine, we just celebrated 2 years, right? So we're still in the, it's early enough in our marriage where, things are still spicy, where we don't have to work too hard to, you know what I mean? Like to shake
Yeah,
things up,
yeah,
but being intentional about it though, like this is my second marriage, by the way. Like I ain't have it right the first time around. So there's certain things you have to kind of go into it with, like being intentional about all of these things so you can stay ahead of it and like future proof, you know what I mean, the marriage, like, and therefore when things come up and show themselves, you kind of already prepared for it. That's how I see it. And that's what's
yeah.
been working for us in all areas.
Okay, that's what's up with Vizzy. So like, I guess the biggest take. Oh, I'm sorry. Auntie, what you were saying?
I said one more thing. You gotta be willing to try anything your husband wanted to do in the bed at least once.
And
At
he
least
Hmm.
once.
to reciprocate the same. Yes.
Yes.
don't go against Auntie. She's saying it right. Say it again, Auntie.
You
She's saying
messy.
she's saying it right. Say it one more
Don't do
time
that.
for the people way, way in the back. Go ahead.
Remember now, you got to be able to reciprocate that thing as well. Now,
Mm,
I am single, but I have been married.
mm,
So now, don't do that.
mm.
Mm.
We heard that, CT. You got to be able to reciprocate as well.
Yes,
Um,
yes, ma'am.
all right. So, I know for some of us, that's still out here in the dating scene, um, what would be y'all's first ideal date? Like, what's your first ideal date? Go ahead, AV. You ain't said much, nothing, but laugh.
Shit, I'm already thinking about it now. I'm trying to figure it out. What is my ideal date? Like honestly, I
Oh
want
snap! Y'all don't know.
I'm at that point now where I want to do some more adventurous stuff. Like I want to kind of do things that ain't the conventional movies and dinner and all that stuff like that. Like I want to go do skydiving or something like that to really figure out how much we willing to, change and sacrifice and really experience together. I feel like the biggest problem, quote unquote, that we look for in like dating, we look too much of for people to come and fill a gap that we never filled ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I feel a lot of times people blame other people for their mess ups and not their own thing. Like I don't believe 50-50. I believe 100-100. You know what I'm saying? And when I look for a date, I just try to see like if you got the same mindset that I got, where are you depending on me or are you relying on me? You know what I mean? Dependency is I need to always be there. A relying is, I'm gonna be there when you need me. You know.
Mm.
That's a good one. I
I like
mean,
it.
yeah. All right. What you, CT? What's your first ideal date?
Well, I don't go into any dates looking for anything. I think most people always have those. They always expect things from the date versus just going with the flow, just dating for fun, initially, instead of just always having what's in your mind how the date's supposed to go. That's how dates get messed up because you always got a preconceived notion of how the date's supposed to go. Like I'm a simple person, it don't take much to, please me. So when I go into a date, I always look for, just the qualities in the person. I love conversation, but I don't look for a lot of things in the date. I just kind of let, the date do what it do.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Alex.
Something simple. I think I've said it before, where we're able to talk, kind of get to know each other. So I wouldn't say over food, but maybe like I said, a walk on the riverfront. Um, where I told you I had to get first date with a guy, and we went to the the thing, the
Where
with the
y'all went, sugar?
with the animals, the the
The
drive.
Oh,
Zoo.
the little,
Zoo.
the little pull up with the monkeys
Yeah,
be
where
in
you
the
pull
car
up
and
and
all that.
yeah.
Sorry. Oh, okay.
And I
uh,
was,
Okay.
he was able to see, like I was able to be completely vulnerable because I was terrified. And so it didn't work out, but
She had to go in the window.
Man, I, by the time we got to the second animal, the whole bucket of whatever I had, it was just out the window. But it was like an opportunity for him to just see me as me, like not a facade, just me.
You see, you scared.
And,
Auntie, what was your first date? And
Well, actually,
did you like that?
okay, my first date was Ronnie. He took me and my kids and two of their friends to the movies, and we went out to eat at Mellow Mushroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
What was that Bernie Mac cartoon? That sound like that right there. You know, when you had
Baby's kid.
Robin Baby's kid. I'm not Bernie Mac. Robin
No,
Harris.
baby. I only had two.
Robin Harris. When you took all the kids to the thing. Yeah. That's so sweet.
what about you, Veezy? What you do for your first date with your wife?
It was simple. We just went out to eat. I mean, we ate and we sat at the table for like 4 hours talking. It was dope. I mean, it was simple, but it kind of like just set the foundation. I ain't overthink it. I told her what time to be ready and what to wear. I told her to wear a black dress.
Hey, right home, brother. Right
You know
home,
what? I think that's the kind of approach to any date. Like most of the time when and I saw somebody posted, and I'm going to share it on social media, but the guy was like, when you approach a woman and ask her what she wants to do as far as a date is concerned, and she says it doesn't matter, whatever you decide, that's our basically us allowing you to lead that situation. And a lot of people don't know it's more difficult than what you think it is for a lot of people. Like it's like, well, I don't know what you don't like. Look, I can just tell you, here's my allergy. I have a seafood allergy. You take it and run with it after that. You know what I mean? But,
I got a question.
What's up?
Anybody ever been on a first date where you didn't eat? I mean, y'all did any other dates besides going to eat?
I just said it.
Oh yeah.
What you said again? I want to hear it again. I'm playing. I'm messing with
First one was a walk. We just went to the riverfront and just talked. And then the other first date with the guys where I went to the thing in Opal or wherever it is through the drive-thru thing.
But y'all didn't eat afterwards. Oh, okay.
We just said talk.
And see, I went to the park. Like there was a lake. It was a park that we went to, but it had a lake, and he and I just sat in a swing and we just talked the whole time. The unfortunate part is some other things that came out about this individual later, but yeah. So I mean, I've gone on dates where it didn't even cost nothing, just me getting there. So yeah, us women, we don't mind those types of dates. You know what I'm saying? I think that, society, or rather social media, has made it seem like you got women that want, the elaborate dates and whatnot. Like if we've been dating for a while, then okay, yeah, every once in a while we might want to get dolled up and go somewhere nice, right? I think that's with anybody, but it's not always the case with most of us. We okay with just us sitting in the park. So okay, have you, or do you or your partner give ultimatums when it or set certain standards of things you will not accept up front? Like, did y'all set any uh easy? Did y'all set any standards up front? Like when it came to y'all dating and before y'all got married, did y'all set these standards up front with each other?
Yeah, I look at it. I look at it more as like boundaries, right? Like
Okay.
we laid out things that boundaries that we took pretty serious, and but it was all based on our own experience, right? And I think that's part of the problem with people who don't have a lot of, I guess, dating experience, aka younger people. They don't know how to set boundaries. That's why a lot of us, a lot of people go through a first marriage on to their second one, or they never been married and they're at a certain age, what I mean, where they probably wouldn't have it that way if it was up to them. You know what I mean? Like, because we don't really know how to do it. You know what I mean? We don't really know how to set those boundaries. They get crossed, and you feel like your partner was just supposed to know. Now, granted, there was some things that on the baseline, you know what you're supposed to not do. But I mean, like as far as specifically the nuances that come with a person, like that has to be taught. You know, so yeah, I think we did a really good job of that early on, establishing that kind of those ground rules, so to speak, for lack of a better word.
Okay. What about you, Auntie?
Yeah, we had rules when we first started out. But for the most part, my husband was like, he would not tolerate being disrespected. And that was one of his main pet peeves. But mine were, um, don't lie to me. You can just tell the truth about anything. The truth will set you free. Because if you tell one lie, you got to keep lying. And I hate to be lied to. It's like I'm a Cancer, so I take things to heart when somebody say something or do something to me. I forgive you, but I hold on to it, and that's something I'm working on within myself. But I've always been like that, you know. Just don't lie to me and don't cheat because I'm willing to do whatever it is you want that outside person to do. Because some men have this thing where they don't want their wife, girlfriend do certain things. They'll go out there and get it. I'm going to try anything. Keep mine.
Well, that's fair.
Ooh,
Okay.
What?
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. That's a rare.
And that's
Gotta write
why
it down.
I waited to get married. Because I got married when I was 33, but I was with my kids, my son and daughter, dad, for 13 years, and we never got married because I knew he wasn't for me. Even though I, gave him all those years, I knew he wasn't for me. But when I met my husband, this is my first marriage, but when I met my husband, I knew I was gonna marry him. I knew it like 2 months after we had been together.
that's nice.
So sometimes people they be like, you have to, like, how some people set stands for when they plan to have sex with somebody or something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're gonna be with that person right then and there that same day. If you just meet them. So to sit there and say you to be engaged for years and years and years, it don't take all that. Me and my husband got married in 9 months, and I think that was the best decision I made in my life because he has been there for me through a lot of my bad times, and he's always brought me through. And my nieces, they know he's a good man,
She found her
and I
soulmate.
wouldn't
Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't change for nothing in the world, nothing.
Oh,
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope
somebody
right there.
said, what made you know?
What made me know? Okay, 2 months we had been talking. I got sick at work because we met at work, and he took me to the hospital, and they put me in intensive care. And because my pressure went up, it was at stroke level, but I hadn't had a stroke. But they put me in the hospital. I remember it being like 200 and some over 100 and something. And now I'm in intensive care. My husband snuck into intensive care and spent the night with me. Every time the doctors would come in, he would go over and stand up over the toilet. They got the little curtain around the toilet.
Wow.
That's what's
And he did that. And I said that's gonna be my husband.
That man
that
wanted you,
man.
boy.
I'm
That's
Wanted
true
telling
love
you.
you,
right there.
when I tell you,
Hey,
one of those people that I always tell him this. Some people get married and you just look at them as like your in-law, your in-law. That's legit our uncle. Like that's our uncle. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see it. He is one of the people that just came in, and him and his mom, it just feel like it's supposed to be.
Right. And I even can attest, I'm all the way in Georgia. And even when I started launching this platform, like the first thing Uncle Ron they said was, "Oh, we got Oprah in the house. We got Oprah in the house." I'm like, that's right. That's right. Believe in your niece. You know what I mean? So just that simple, encouragement alone, I gotta say, you right, Auntie. You definitely got you a good husband there.
shout out to Uncle Ronnie.
Mhm.
Big shout out. Well, yeah, bro. I hope you listening.
Come sit right here, babe. Come on.
Oh, special
Oh,
guest in
Kentucky
the
now.
building.
He would not come. He's shy, but he,
Come on, Uncle Ronnie. You the boy. You the MVP.
Like
I
you
can
the
learn
you,
from
you
you,
the
boy.
trophy right now.
All right. That's why we got Veezy on here too. You know what I'm saying? He a dope individual too. Like I see how, he interact with his wife and things like that. And you know what I mean? Couples like, VZ and my aunt, like, it actually gives the rest of us single folk hope. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, we kind of can lose faith in humanity and lose faith in people in general when you have people that are constantly selfish and only want to, put on this facade and this image for other people. So it's always good to see, when you have genuine folk that actually love each other, and it just makes you like, damn, okay, there is hope still, you know what I mean? So it's always good to see that. So all right, so why do you think we can't feel comfortable in love in today's society?
Too much outside
So
influences.
pretend. A lot of
Too
people
Yeah.
pretend. A
too
lot
much access.
a
Hmm.
lot of people are not dating for love. They are looking for help. They are looking for somebody
Image.
to build with. They are they're looking for an image to uphold and maintain. And I don't think I don't know, they don't even know what love is. Some people. I won't say everybody.
Right.
But the majority they ain't looking for love.
What you got to
Mm.
say on the AV? You look like you contemplating.
No, because I ain't gonna lie, I agree with it. Like I just feel like too many people. It got too much outside influences. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never been a big person to put my relationship on social media,
Right. That
nothing
first
like.
play they run to.
Now you got too many people dipping in and dipping out of you and got something to say all the time. So it's like, and
Right.
we dictate what we feel about somebody that start changing over time when you start getting other people influences because then you start looking at them differently. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the situation. Not all situations is like that, but sometimes you just got too much. Too many kitchens in the too many cooks in the kitchen. And it's
Well, and then you do also run into the issue where, unfortunately, in the way that people are brought up,
mhm,
you can make other people feel uncomfortable with expressing themselves to you. And then for so long, we've been telling our little black boys, tough it up,
right,
man up. You
right,
know what I mean? Don't show emotion. Don't cry. I'm tell you, I tell mine to cry, cry,
right.
cry, cry. Because my thing is this. Any woman that is not open to receiving you at your own emotional intelligence
Mhm,
don't need to be with you,
right.
because at the end of the day we should feel comfortable with our spouses to be open and in love, and not feel judged just based on our emotions. So what you got to say, auntie? Like,
that, I was
We
just
love to
listening.
hear Auntie talk, but come
Mm.
on with it, Auntie.
Quiet. I'm just gonna keep it straight 100. That's well, my thing. Well, a challenge that me and my husband had. When he was working at Hyundai, he got hurt on the job, and he used to tell me all the time, "You're gonna leave me," and all this and then. And I try to keep my husband to where he knows that I'm not going nowhere. I don't care, what happens between us. I take care of him, and whatever he needs me to do, I do it. And I like to keep him motivated, to let him know that I'm gonna always be there for him, no matter because he lost a job or he's hurt, or whatever. Because when it was me, he was there for me, and that's why I told him. I said I would never leave you hanging like that, because in most, how can I put this? I'm not trying to badger women, but a lot of women, they get with men off what they can do. Like I told my son, I said, when I met Ronnie, I didn't ask him for anything. He came to me and he was like, "You was this way when we were together, when I met you, and I want to keep you this way." Like I got my nails done and hair did, so he made sure that, and I didn't have to ask him for anything. He was always a giving person, and that's the way I try to teach my daughter. When she's dating and stuff, I tell her, if you have to ask a man for something, you don't need him.
mm,
But a lot of women are out there looking for somebody to take care of them. but it should be like AV said, 100, 100.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Don't just
Because it's
no,
not
I'm
50-50.
do that to women
Because
because we in today's society it's not women that are just looking for some help or for somebody to take care of them.
yes, men too.
Yes, a lot of men. That,
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like
come
it's
on
a lot
with it
more
now.
men looking
Don't
for
do
help
that.
than it is females.
You
Say it
know,
again, AV.
I definitely feel like there's a lot more men looking for help than this with females. You know, like
yeah, because we've got to that point now where we okay
yeah, right,
bringing our own table. We got our own table,
yeah,
chairs, and the table is set.
yeah, yeah.
All we really want somebody to do is come and sit at this table and add to
Contribute.
it. I don't. Yeah, I don't need you to feel like you have to do nothing. But if you see that I'm taking care of it myself, and you see how I'm carrying me, and you 9 times out of 10 you've already seen my kids. You know how I move. You know how I roll. Come and add to this table, even if it's nothing but a car wash. I like candles. Go buy me a candle. Do something to let me know you see me and you see everything that I got going on. Do
You know what, you speak the truth when it comes to that, because like I think I was just telling somebody on when I went live right before the show. I was saying, it's a lot of power in wanting someone than it is needing someone, because once that need is no longer required, then you kind of out of job, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Um, so and I tell people all the time, it's something so simple as, if you going over to this woman's house and you see her trash is full, take out the trash. And you come consistent with doing that, she gonna be looking at her trash like, dang, baby, what? Why you ain't take out the trash? Not need you to take out the trash, because I don't want to put my hand on that. You been doing it this long. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's just things like that. You end up needing someone over time because of what they add to your life. You know what I mean? So then you start not being able to imagine anything else. So that's just really what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you already have everything set and someone's adding to that, hey, I'm gonna constantly do this for this person. Now, when something doesn't get done, you be like, baby, but what happened? So
Yeah, bring so much to the table that when it goes away, boy, like the lights got cut out, boy.
right, right. So let's see. All right. So now since we've been picking on the married folks, I got some for the single folks and the folks that's, even if you're in a relationship, I just need to know these characteristics. So if you had to build, and we already know there's no such thing as perfect, right? But if you could build the perfect partner, what are the top 5 characteristics? It can only be 5 now. What are the top 5 characteristics that you would want to see in your perfect partner? Go ahead.
Honestly, I feel like honestly, I only really need one top characteristic, and that's just know yourself. You know, if you know yourself and you know what you do and you know how you are, that's good for me because then I ain't got to figure it out. You know, one of my biggest pet peeves is the nothing wrong and it is something wrong. Like, don't keep telling
Yes.
me something there's nothing wrong if something wrong is. I could spend more time fixing what's wrong instead of trying to spend that time
Figure it out.
out what's wrong. You
Yeah,
know,
that's dope. Yeah.
and just move from there. I guess it would be two then. So know thyself and communication. So those are the two top things for me.
Okay. So it sounds simple. Ladies, if you're in the audience, he's telling you some gems now. So be writing these notes down now. All right, what else, CT? What you say?
I say I look for a person that can hold the house down when I'm gone. Like I like to travel, handle business outside of, being at the house. So as long as I feel like that person can hold it down when I leave, and I got a true partner on my side, man, I feel like we can ride. So that's mainly what I look for. Somebody that's compassionate and someone that can be a mother to a son or a daughter. Because a lot of females don't know how to be a parent, and so I feel like if they can bring that to the table, then I feel like we can ride with that right there.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead, Alex. You go ahead.
He kind of just touched on something there because there's something that I'm struggling with the person that I'm seeing is I need you to be able to see this as a partnership. Because if you're always thinking about you, or you don't see us as a partnership, then you don't 9 times out of 10 you see me as an enemy or an opponent or somebody else that's against you in the world. We are in this. We are a partnership, and everything else may be against us, but we are in it as a partnership, and that's so important because being a single kid, it'll make you wonder how is somebody that's an only child have a mind like that? It's because it's important to develop those relationships with people to where you got somebody in your corner somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
But
you should never want to compete with your partner.
but
You got a
seriously,
lot of people that
if you
do.
don't see somebody as
That's crazy.
if you don't see somebody as your partner, then when you come to them with something, because I'm very vocal when something is bothering me, and a lot of men look at that as nagging. So I'm gonna say communication with it. You got to be able to accept constructive criticism. If you've done something that I don't care for, I'm telling you because I want us to work.
Well, if
And
you're in a relationship with somebody that's competing against you, man, look, you in a relationship with a demon. You need to walk up out of there.
true, it's not even necessarily competing, but they see you as an enemy almost. It's like I don't trust anybody. Okay, that's understandable, but we should be building trust. If your mindset is on always to not trust anybody, how can you ever see me as your partner? You got to be able to have some level of trust in me at some point. Like, how is it that you have been so scarred and so
But
that you just can't have no level of trust for nobody, nowhere, no kind of way. Like it's crazy, but
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you from dating, that's has been a non-negotiable for me now. When you have trust issues, I need you to work on that because what I'm not gonna do is be somebody's punching bag. And that's where a lot of us kind of I guess fall short when we don't set those clear expectations for ourselves and say, hey, look, I know that I'm a trustworthy individual. Yes, trust is earned, but at the very least you're going to respect me, and we're not going to do that where you start pulling your past problems and trying to place them on me, because if you haven't healed from that, then where are we really doing? What are we really doing? Because at that point it becomes a revolving door. It's like I'm chasing after you, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, do I really want to, keep doing this merry-go-round type situation? Um, I will say for me, so it seems like it's consistent with communication, because communication is a big thing,
you
you know.
got somebody that you can communicate with. Because if we can't talk, if we can't laugh, if we can't do that, like I'm going to look somewhere else to do those things.
Right.
What's the point?
I mean, I just walk away all together. I might not look nowhere else. I just might
That's
walk.
like it's useless if we can't.
Yeah. So communication for me.
She admitted to cheating over
You heard it too. She said,
there. You
"I'm gonna
just
find you
admitted it.
somebody."
We can it recorded. You can't even take that back.
Caught.
Well,
Bless your heart.
I have not admitted to cheating because I'm not a cheater anymore. That's something in my past.
It recorded.
No, but that's
I
the
learned
whole
my
purpose
lesson.
of somebody
Wow.
saying this or that is wrong. That's to prevent you from, like I said, I want us to work. So to keep it together, let's talk about this. Let's discuss it.
Right.
But
Well,
a lot of times men just see that as nagging.
right.
Not the case.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Communication definitely is important. It seems. Honesty for me. I don't care if you think it's gonna hurt my feelings. Please tell me the truth,
Tell it.
because I can respect the truth more so than I can a lie. When you lie to a person, you end up taking their free will away from them because you didn't give them all the information and allow them to make that sound decision for themselves. The problem comes in. Don't shake your head, CT, because the
Yeah,
problem comes in
why he's shaking his
when
head.
the reason why certain people lie, and I will say men and women, the reason why people lie is because they're afraid that your answer will not benefit their agenda, and that's the problem. And that's the problem. So
Look,
yes, I want honesty.
look. I ain't gonna lie. Look, I'm a person where I believe it go both ways, right? It go either way. When I know too much about you, I either not like you anymore because now I know too much about you, too much truth, or I like you more because of the truth that was the truth that I wanted to hear. You know what I mean? Because some people like I don't like to talk about the past because I feel like talking about the past is not being in the past, is in the present. You know what I mean? So I don't need to know every small detail about you because then I'm gonna
Fact.
start dictating how you are based off all the truth you tell me. Some truth don't need to be. It's not a lie. It just don't need to be told.
It's just
Um,
you don't
How
have
you
to
ring a bell on here? Dang, damn.
you don't have to
like,
volunteer all of that information, right? Right.
yeah,
Well,
like
I mean,
Yeah.
I get not, going to intricate details about not, but I'm gonna tell you like this: if I ask a specific question, I'm gonna want to know the answer.
yeah. I mean, but that's different. So it's
Mhm.
like
You
ask. You
know,
know, if you ask, that's the answer. You know what I mean? But if it's not asked, I'm not gonna just tell you.
right? Of course not. I mean, that's fine. I get it. A person with a sense of humor is important.
Right.
I
Yeah.
ain't trying to walk on eggshells with
Right.
nobody because I'm silly. And then, a person that is patient because I can get on some people's nerves. I ain't gonna I know this. You know what I'm saying? Us women, we gotta admit, I know we can get on somebody's nerves. I'm sorry. It is what it is. I get it. We emotional creatures, so we can do that. And then somebody with a good work ethic. I mean, because I ain't trying to deal with nobody that's lazy. You know what I'm saying? You perfectly content with just sitting on your butt while I go and cut the grass. We ain't got. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So yeah, those my five. Um. All right. Do you think uh Do you think people make love more complicated than what it needs to be?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
she been burned a couple times. You can tell. Lord have mercy.
Maybe
No,
it's
it's
okay.
not so much that I've been burned a couple of times, but I have been in love and loved correctly. And then so
That's right.
I
Ooh.
That's a
and then
song. It's a
go
song
into
about that.
something else. Then yeah, it be kind of like, oh, okay, whatever.
See, here's what
She
y'all
get
gotta
hot
understand.
flashes.
It's not always necessarily a person being scorned because I can attest for my cousin. She had a good husband to her. You understand? And she is only, single by natural circumstances. She's a widow. So the thing of it is that when you have a partner that showed you how to be loved properly,
Hmm.
it is hard to expect anything less than that.
Hard to
Right.
replace.
And so now I like I tell people a lot of who I am now to people on the outside when they come across me is because of how I have been loved and how I have loved over the years. So it's kind of like you out here giving out that type of love, but you don't get it back, and that's
Hmm.
hard. So yeah,
What you say, VZ? Oh wait, I'm sorry. CT, go ahead. You raised your
I,
hand. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be polite.
And
I,
Memphis.
I got a question.
Okay.
So you want me to call you Zan, Alex, Peaches, Pumpkin? What you want me to call you?
whatever you like.
All right, Alex. So, being serious. With that being said, so pretty much, with that person passing, that was pretty much your soulmate, correct? So, with that being your soulmate, your soulmate is now left. Do you think it's possible to find another soulmate? Because your soulmate is gone. So, how do you replace that? You can't replace your soulmate. You can't have
Not that
two.
one.
You cannot
Not
replace
that one.
somebody. However, without being religious or anything of that nature, I will say that I don't think that I'm just left here to not love again. It's a part. I think that love is a part of the abundant life. I always tell people that. So for me to still be here and my creator know exactly who I am, I'm a lover, and I sincerely think there is another.
I asked that question because I think people that's listening, there's some people out there that going through the exact same thing where they've lost a soulmate. So them hearing that answer, it may help them move, towards trying to love again or find another person that can fill that void of losing to someone that they call their soulmate. Because
Mm.
when we're sitting here to Earth, we feel like there's only one person for us. So if you know that's your person, and you know that they're gone, they're not coming back. So how do you bounce back from that? That's kind of what I wanted to put out there and see what your thoughts were about it.
Yeah, I definitely believe.
Yeah, and then you gotta also know the difference between soulmate and like that twin flame stuff people be talking about. Twin flames is something that's just one person, but that soulmate, it can be a multitude of people. You can actually have soulmates within your family, within your friend group. There's a multitude of ways to receive the type of love that you desire or that you need, in your life, and it may not always come in the format that you think that it should. It's just a matter of being able to be open and receiving that.
Hmm.
Mm. Boy, y'all deep. I love it. I'm
I
sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
want to what's that cup.
it's so stupid. I know, right? It's your juice. It's your juice. What you think, VZ? What you think? You think people make it love more complicated than what it needs to be? I know we talk about this on your
Mm-hmm.
lives a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I think that people so scared out here today, man.
Mm-hmm.
Scared to go outside. You know, scared to be vulnerable. So that fear, and again, it all to me, it all comes back to the social media thing. Like that's why I think it's so important for like when you start digging somebody, you meet somebody, you start kicking it, and y'all kind of start taking each other serious. I always say you need to take a break from social.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm.
because a lot of people try to convince themselves that they need these apps for reasons that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like now, like in your case, as like you know, you gotta you're doing the business through your
Right,
platform. You know what I mean? It's a little different.
right,
But a lot of times people try to, you know, have all these reasons as to why you're pouring too much into um the outside distraction and what you are, you know, this thing that you're supposed to be focusing on. So it always comes back to this distraction element and this loss of focus on who this new person is that, you know, is meant to be in your life in that season. You know what I mean?
right,
Um, because you know the idea of love is like the byproduct of what Alex was talking about with the partnership. You know what I mean? Like I'm it's more important for me to have somebody I can consider a real partner than somebody I just see that I want to fall in love with. You know
mm,
what I mean? Because I look at it like if you're actually my partner, the love is gonna come by default, right? Because I'm giving you my time because I care enough to move with you intentionally. You know what I mean? So that means we have no other way but to go in that direction. But I need all this other stuff that matters to show themselves. Like how are you gonna deal? How are we gonna deal with adversity? Like what's the first time you show me how unselfish you really are? You know what I mean? What's the first time you actually back up all these things that you say? You know what I
right,
mean? Like that's the part we get hung up on the things that don't matter, that don't really carry any substance. So that's what you know. I use my platform a lot for is just reminding people of what the basics are. We get away from the basics, but then we apply basic shit.
Mm-hmm.
right. Hey,
You know
that
what I mean?
we talk
Hey,
about some
Like
I
big
definitely need to follow this brother's content for sure.
Exactly.
yeah,
sure.
like you know what I mean. Like that's crazy to me. Like it's kind of like when people talk about, you know, I'm assuming most of us are parents,
Mm.
um, and
Mm.
a lot of people who are watching.
But yeah,
Yeah, so like,
Their daddies
you
now.
know, nobody looks for like pats on the back when you feed your child.
Yeah.
right,
You
right,
you know what I mean? Like, oh, you went and took your kid shopping, okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what you're supposed to be doing. So
Yeah.
like, we got to stop celebrating simple things like a first date. That's not a
Mm-hmm.
big deal. Like that should be something that is happening in your life normally, man or
mm,
woman. You know what I mean? And if I'm being real, for us men folk, it can get a little expensive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Fact.
know what I mean? Like, right, AV, it can get a little expensive. I mean, and that's why I be telling women, like, women have to be mindful that men are really choosy about who we want to spend
Facts.
that time with that turns into spending money with.
Facts.
right.
Because
I'm cheap.
you gotta pay to play. You know what I mean? Like, so it ain't but so many free dates in the world.
Facts. Facts. There's only so many high fives I can give. That's okay.
Boy, you a pastor.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So like, and I know women like simplicity and all that, and but see, women don't like to spread their energy, you know, too thin. Men don't like it either. We just don't express it the same way that women do.
Where
Mm,
your
Now,
where your tip jar at, bro?
I'm just keeping it a bean. I'm just keeping it a bean because like we're not gonna be as like, you know, and you know, us as genders, we're different. Like men are
right.
gonna constantly hunt.
Mhm.
Ladies who are watching, I'm telling you right now, men are going to constantly hunt until they identify who it is they ready to stop hunting for.
Mhm.
Mm,
Well,
Does
Facts.
that make sense?
Yes,
congregation.
Like,
sir.
like, 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 don't ever think that you're so special that you're just gonna meet a guy and he cut off everybody like immediately. That ain't how it works.
You giving up too
Now
much.
he
You giving up too much.
no,
Giving
no,
up too
no,
much
see,
growth.
no,
Nah,
no, no,
no, he
no.
ain't. No, he ain't.
See,
Him.
look,
Stop.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
You know, because look, because CT, here's the thing. This is what men got to get hip to, real talk. And I'm talking about the man who ain't really figured this stuff out yet. That's what I'm talking to. I ain't talking to the mature men who know what they want. I'm talking to the ones who haven't figured it out yet, like where I was, say, 6-7 years ago, right? Like the things that we talking about right now, men have to stop looking at it like we're giving up something. All of these things that we're talking about, these topics, they're really designed to help us gain. Because when you pour into the woman, we spoke on it earlier, the woman makes the house the home, right? So once we stop looking at what's being taken away and start looking at what's being gained, that changes the whole dynamic of all this stuff, all this online bashing each other, going back and forth from your yard, I'm in my yard. We supposed to be together on all this. This is ridiculous.
That's it.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is crazy to me. Everybody ain't meant to be married right now. It might not be your season for that, and that's okay. And I always say, don't blur the lines, right? Like, if you want to live your best life, be single, stay in that lane. Because once you come over here to this lane and start hurting folk, right? Now you blazing a trail that you can't clean that up fast enough, right? So if you're gonna be over there, stay over there.
Right.
Now, if you're gonna be out here moving with intention, you have to do just that, and you do have to make it very clear. And AV and CT, hit me out. I'm gonna give a little pushback
Hey,
on the
look,
talk
I'm gonna
about.
take a drink for you, my boy.
No,
Look.
you bring the fact.
You
I'm gonna
own
give
it.
I'm gonna give a little pushback on the let's lead the past alone, right? Because now we don't have to get so deep into the weeds of it. But the reason why it's important for me to have a good understanding about your past is so that I can understand why you're shaped the way you are right now.
True.
Mhm.
Like
Right.
moving
I
moving
need to
towards something.
understand what the basis is of this reaction. Why you always react this way. Oh, it's because you went through.
Uh-oh.
We lost your
Right
audio.
here.
And he was into it. See how the
You
devil work?
Yeah, but
See how the
This the
devil work,
devil for
boy?
real.
I
He was
can't wait
getting
till
the
somebody
business.
get you,
He was
CT.
getting the business, boy. Ooh, boy.
that ain't nothing but the
Okay.
devil.
Oh, it's muted again. He got him unmuted on this. Hold on.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, come
Okay.
on back, Pastor.
Man,
I
where
got
was
some
I?
money for you,
Where
boy.
was I?
I got some money for you.
You said the past shaped you who
Oh, the
you are
past, the
now.
past. Yeah. So yeah, if you went through a 5-year relationship that was hell, you know what I mean? Like, I need to know that you got some triggers that's happening right now. There's a reason why you react this way. So now I got to extend grace to you because I know where this comes from. See, that's when we talk about emotional intelligence. That's the next level of it, right? Therefore it's a responsibility that a lot of people don't want that responsibility, and that's fair. If you don't want that responsibility, that's okay. That's why I said stay in that lane.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be in this lane, you got to know that there's a responsibility that comes with like this process again that a lot of people don't want. But if you want it, you got to take it on all the way.
And
Like,
be prepared. Be prepared
But
to take it on.
and to add on to that, but I really feel like the biggest thing when it comes to like the shaping who you are, I feel like the biggest thing is people don't take that time to really heal. You know what I mean? So like I don't believe in bad. Like we know right from wrong, we know, left and right, blah blah blah, but everything is good at the end of the day. Everything that you went through that was the worst thing in your life ended up being the best thing in your life. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people get stuck on their past and they don't really know how to utilize what the blessings that was sent for them is to be seen as, and they kind of carry that on to the next relationship, and they carry that on as a weight instead of as a lifter of them in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to really get to know somebody when they're still stuck on their hurt.
you're
And it's
absolutely
like
right.
it gets real controlling because and it adds into the emotional thing. Like it's like I truly do believe like if you don't understand why you went through what you went through or how you are who you are, then you're always going to be looking for somebody to tell you who you are or what and it's like you get stuck in a rut. We put too much dictation on outside and we never really look inside.
Yep. You know how else you can counter that too? Like, you have to go through after post that kind of breakup or whatever the hell you need to heal from. You got to go through a season of being solo dolo.
Facts.
Yeah, to heal
Like,
properly, man. You
right,
need to heal properly.
And to be honest, this is another thing that men struggle with a lot, because it's easy for us to just tell somebody to pull up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and then, but feel like because we're not necessarily pouring into them, that you're not really giving it any energy, but you are, because every time they pull up, they leaving with, you know, you done tied your soul up with
Yeah,
somebody else.
yeah.
You
They
understand?
using
Like,
they using that as the crutch. They asking them to pull up so they can pour some of that hurt over to them.
exactly,
So that's what they're messing up at.
exactly.
Brennan said, what do you define as healing? I will say this, Brennan, just like the guy said, healing ain't getting under somebody new.
Right.
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 It's actually going internally and doing the work. It's actually seeking
Yeah.
therapy. It's actually talking to your friends. It's actually, what I'm saying? And don't always dump on your friends neither, because that's what a lot of us also mistake. Our friends be going through stuff too. And who gonna save the strong ones? Because I promise you, I'm known notorious for Ash. I got to talk to you because and I'm like, hey, what is it? Because
My
I'm like,
full today.
We saying a lot of that too though, but there are people out there that have met people that have healed broken, what I'm saying, healed people that are wounded. So, there are people out there that have came into the relationship and have helped heal those people though.
True,
Yeah.
true. But just like Veezy said earlier, you gotta be open to accepting that type of task on if you're talking about being with a person for a sense of purpose. So it's not always those people that you just randomly meet and you want to be with. It's those people that, hey, you know what? I see this person as my wife or my husband one day. Let me help them through this process because I want them. I need them in my life.
Matter of fact, I have a set of friends that I know, I won't say names, but person was broken. They were friends all the way dating back to high school. They was the best of friends. Now they're in a relationship. She was hurt. He came in. He was like the rescue person, and he helped heal her. So I can attest to that because there are people out there that are going through that where they are broken, and someone has come in to help them go through that healing process and have helped them heal.
And the only thing I say to that is, when you don't lose yourself in that process.
That
That's the
part.
True.
biggest thing. Because CT, you absolutely right. And I feel like there are more exceptions to the rule than the rule. Like people
Mm-hmm.
who can actually take that on, and they're more of an anomaly, but it does happen. But
Mm-hmm.
when it does, don't lose yourself in the process, because you can be so busy trying to help build somebody up. You lose yourself, you start resenting them. By the
Right.
time they done clean they act all the way up, they may not be built to handle the shit you coming with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you just
What
gotta
they say
be
about that cup, boy? It get empty, don't it?
Right.
I ain't
real
let
quick.
mine get empty. Not today.
And then
Yeah.
you also got to be careful of, I think TDJ said it the other day, he said, how can you expect to pour a gallon of water in a cup and then get mad at the cup because
It can
it
only hold
couldn't
so
hold,
much.
it couldn't hold you. So you got to
Facts.
also know what partner can withstand that type of love too. So
That was for me. Thank you.
Yeah, it is Sunday.
That was for
It's
me.
old Sunday, boy. Y'all been to church early. I ain't go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lord.
Had a long
well,
night.
I know
I
we
did.
all got lives outside of this podcast thing, and of course we didn't get to all the questions today. I kind of figured
I
it.
told you weren't gonna
Kind
make
of
it past the
figured it.
first four.
But hopefully we can have a part two of this thing. I do understand, people's schedule, and it may not be the same panel, and that's perfectly okay. But I do appreciate you guys for, allowing me this time to pick your brains, and it's always good to have a variety of couples and people from all walks of life on, because you, VZ, and Pecan 10. Y'all actually gave us some insight on marriage, and a lot of people think that marriage is, oh my God, it's the end of all, and it's really not. You really have to be with the right person, and so
Yeah. You
we
just
want
got to be ready to put in the work.
exactly,
It's
and
a job.
yeah. So
Yeah,
and
pass the collection plate, baby.
he's so silly. He's so silly. But yeah, we just want to, also, bring awareness and let people know that it's okay to love, So I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys being on, and I know that you have your own families to get to, so I won't hold you long. But for everybody in the audience, thank you guys for tuning in. Anybody got any closing remarks on this thing?
Well, I got something.
Okay.
When CT finds that special somebody, um, We gonna put him on.
You gonna put me on? Put us on together?
Yes, because you got a lot to say.
Me? I ain't say much. That's a lot.
No, you joke. You a jokester.
I am a jokester now. That's part of it. Yes, ma'am. But I'll come on together. We'll sit right here. Well, not right
Hey,
here
I know
in the
that's
room.
right. Look, she said because you got a lot to say about this whole being single thing. But
I enjoyed the input. I mean, she came with a lot of exciting news that a lot of other people should talk about, but they don't talk about it like Auntie do. I appreciate Auntie. Auntie came with it, boy. I
That's the
was
only way
glad to
I
be there.
know.
she said
Yes,
she got
Straight
ma'am.
100.
for different occasions. Don't play with her.
Auntie need her own segment.
Somebody
Veezy do too.
master class. Oh well, and that's the thing. I will promote others. So VZ will actually have his own channel, and also y'all should definitely check him out on TikTok. If you don't already know, you can always go to my social media links and actually search for VZ's name, and he'll pop up in orange suit.
Okay.
So make
This
sure
what I
y'all.
this what I'll say just as far as a closing remark, just for the single people, ain't no more going with the flow. I
Yes.
don't know who need to hear that, but
Me?
ain't no more going. Look, ACT, ain't no
Me?
more going with the flow, bruh.
Me? Let me take a drink before you say it again.
Look, ain't no more going with the flow. That flow gets you in trouble because it ain't solid. It
Don't go
take
with
you
the
Yeah.
in the
flow.
shape of whatever you pour it into. So you can't go with the flow no more.
Yes,
You gotta
sir.
have something solid. So that's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah. Well, if they pass a collection plate, I finna dump you about $20, $30. So live. Pastor Veezy, boy.
But it's been real, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time. And as always, y'all stay sweet.
Okay.